Welcome back to TC Talks. I'm your host, TC, and today I'm going to be talking about the Chicago Bears taking on the New York Giants in Week 10. But before I dive into that, I'd like to encourage you, hit that follow, subscribe, all the fancy internet stuff if you enjoy my content. Let's go ahead and dive into the Chicago Bears victory over the New York Giants. For starters, Caleb Williams looked absolutely phenomenal in this game. I know the stat sheet did not absolutely show that, but at the same time, there were a lot of mistakes from the Chicago Bears offense that kind of limited him in that regard. The Chicago Bears, too many drop passes this game. We saw a few from Zaccheaus. We saw a few from other guys. And it's just something that cannot happen on this team. Those are crucial throws, especially the third down throws, that you need to be able to come away with those balls. 100%. The Chicago Bears should not be out there dropping passes on third down, especially in a game where DJ Moore does not record a single catch in the contest. Yes, he was targeted a few times. Yes, he was injured in this game. However, the Chicago Bears got to get their big guys, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, going. And thankfully, Rome Odunze was absolutely on it in this contest. Rome Odunze with a touchdown, with a few receptions, leading receiver in this contest for the Chicago Bears. However, you can't let a guy like DJ Moore just basically sit idly by while everybody else is getting the ball. Yes, Luther Burden able to make something happen in this contest. Cole Kmet with a reception or two as well. But DJ Moore, he's your playmaker. He's your guy. Rome Odunze, he's another one of those types. So you got to get those guys going because those are the guys that are going to propel you over bad teams. Yes, Luther Burden has the potential. Yes, we saw the potential of Zaccheaus just a week ago, and that's all well and good. However, DJ Moore is a playmaker. He is the guy you got to be getting the ball as much as you can. Him, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift. Those are the three guys that could actually do something, make some magic happen on offense. And I understand the need to get those other guys going, and I understand that sometimes DJ is going to be double covered. Sometimes Rome Odunze isn't going to be on the field with DJ Moore, and you got to get the other guys going as well. However, the Chicago Bears, it's been back-to-back weeks where their two biggest receivers have put up a goose egg in the receptions category. But other than that, the Chicago Bears also looked a little bit rough on third down, like I alluded to before. Some drop passes had a little bit to do with that, but 3 of 11 on third down, 1 of 4 on fourth down, and that's just not something you could see going forward against these better teams that the Chicago Bears are coming up on. Yes, they got a little bit of an uptick against Minnesota, a nice little entry into this rougher part of the schedule here. However, the Chicago Bears got to buckle down, and they got to be able to execute on third down. They got to be able to extend drives because just going 3 and out, failing on third down is not something that's going to get you success against these better teams, and it's going to be really hard to see that be successful even against a team like the Minnesota Vikings, who have been struggling lately. But who knows what J.J. McCarthy we're going to see. Maybe he'll bring some magic like he did week 1 against the Chicago Bears, but the Chicago Bears got to step it up on offense, especially on third down. I'd also like to see them use Monangai a little bit more, coming off a big week last week. In this game, he really didn't do much. Yes, he was able to pick up a touchdown in this contest, but really I felt that there was a lot left to be desired from his use in this game. So hopefully that's something that the Bears try to correct going forward and they get him the ball more. But defensively, CJ Gardner-Johnson, you are getting all the flowers in this contest. Yes, the Gardner getting the flowers in this video, but honestly, he had himself an absolutely phenomenal day. He had 2 sacks, led the way in tackles with 9, 7 solo, but honestly, this was a game that you needed to see somebody step up and actually be a playmaker defensively, and CJ Gardner-Johnson did just that. 2 big sacks leading the way in the category, and the Bears were able to get pressure on Jackson Dart all night, forced a fumble on a sack as well. So that's all what you want to see from this defense. However, what you don't want to see is Jackson Dart be able to absolutely light up the score sheet when it comes to him rushing the football. I felt like, again, after they saw Tyler Huntley run all over them in the previous weeks, they let Jackson Dart do the same exact thing, and that's really what kept the Giants in this game, and it's really what led to their offensive success in this contest. So the Bears, they got to be able to figure that out because good teams, if their quarterback's mobile, like we know a lot of guys are, J.J. McCarthy is a mobile quarterback, and if the Bears don't let that, don't take that away from them, then this is going to be something that's going to be exploited. And we already know Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, those are names that can make you pay, especially when you got JJ just flowing all over the place due to a lack of containing him. So that's the only thing I'd really want to see the Bears do better going forward defensively. Figure out how to contain these quarterbacks, not even running backs. I want to call them running backs because they're running all over the Chicago Bears. However, they just need to find a way to limit these mobile quarterbacks' ability to pick up major chunks of yards through the ground. Yes, occasionally they're going to escape for one or two, but you cannot let that be a staple of the game like it was in this contest. But on the bright side, the Chicago Bears defense only allowing one red zone score against the New York Giants in this contest. So you can run all over the Chicago Bears. You can get as many yards as you want, but we saw them bunker down and hunker down against the New York Giants in this contest and stand firm when they needed to the most. So that's the biggest takeaway I have defensively in this contest. But overall, I like the way Caleb Williams played. He was absolutely phenomenal. Doesn't look as good on the stat sheet due to drop passes, but I thought he had a great game. A little bit too much holding the ball, as always. It's Caleb magic that he's trying to make happen. However, he did great. Defense, phenomenal overall. Yes, they kind of got in a little bit of a tight spot, letting Jackson Dart rush all over, but very good in the red zone. But then the biggest thing is the lack of penalties committed by the Chicago Bears in this contest. Only 3 penalties for 25 yards. That's exactly what you want them to be doing. It's been a bit of a struggle getting to this point, but hopefully this is what sets the tone going forward, and this is what's the new norm for this team. But the Chicago Bears come away with a 24-20 victory over the New York Giants in Week 10 to improve to 6-3. They're going to be taking on the Minnesota Vikings this next week. Let me know what your thoughts are on this game, predictions for next week, or any other comments you might have for me down in the comments section below. Until next time, see ya.